Welcome to the afterlife with the return 30 years ago to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, I'm assuming if they do a third one, they'll call it Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Just have to assume because that's why they're calling it Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice instead of just Beetlejuice 2. Or, as Kevin Smith put it once upon a time, Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian. Didn't we tell
Yeah.
everything we needed in the first one? Must we go tropic? That was Kevin's line from the famous Superman Lives conversation because that whole thing led to Superman Lives with Tim Burton. Tim Burton then, of course, would not make Superman Lives. He would go on to make Sleepy Hollow. Um, but I digress. Yes, the new Beetlejuice is out. There's a vinyl record of it. It's pretty fun. No colorization, but just awesome Danny Elfman score. By the way, the original theme to Beetlejuice in this movie, I do like the new score. I was really chipper and happy about it. I love the new model. I have been to Exeter, Vermont, or I'm sorry, that's Exeter, Rhode Island. I don't remember the name of the town it shot in, but I was there in 2020 for a friend's birthday. We decided during the pandemic in July, okay, we're staying away from people. Let's just drive to Vermont. There's nobody up there. Sure enough, there was nobody up there. It was a ghost town. Maitland's hardware store was kind of a rundown little shack. I think it was just being used for storage for another business. The graveyard was now a library. Lydia's school was still there. The bridge was moved, and it's actually the cover of the bridge was always Hollywood. And we got as far as a gate that says no trespassing allowed to see the hilltop that the skeleton of the house was built on. The house was not real, it's a soundstage. And they built that for the movie, and it's done perfectly well. I tried to talk to the owners and try to figure out, but I don't think there was anybody home to go up there to knock on the door and be like, "Hi, I'm with the Radio Horror. I'm a reporter, and blah 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 blah. I'm a big fan of Beetlejuice. Do you know anything about the land and everything else? Were you the original owners when the movie was made?" But unfortunately, there was nobody home. But there is a plaque outside Lydia's schoolhouse that says, "The home of the 1988 film by Tim Burton, Beetlejuice." So that's pretty cool. And there's a photo of Winona Ryder getting on her bike, kind of encased in like glass by the schoolhouse. So to show you that this is her picking up her bicycle, because it's just that one scene. I mean, the schoolhouse isn't anywhere in the movie other than the one scene. But they went back there to shoot during last year before the strike happened. A lot of people got photos of Tim Burton walking around town and waving to people left and right. I mean, he was nonchalant, but he was gesturing to the fans left and right. But obviously, he was there to do his job and then get out of there. So probably because the writer strike was pending and they needed to get as much as they can before shutdown happened. Um, this movie, I don't know. This is the totally this is the movie of the year that I can't believe how all over the place it was. What did you think, Katie? I just tonal, just disjointed plotline film.
I did not think it was all that disjointed. I think when you're dealing with three generations that are extremely different, you have to have one combined factor, which is the death of a family member. Unfortunately, because of the actor that is involved that played that character, that is extremely problematic when it keeps being brought up in the film. I think there is ways that you could bring it up without showing his face or a character of him. But that it's just one of those things like someone who has seen the film before, the actor, reason why they're not in this film. If you're taking kids to see it, which I don't know if it's necessarily kid friendly. I mean, there's
Oh,
definitely some things in it that you're going to have to explain. But again, look, I grew up in the 80s. There's a lot of stuff that I watched. It's like, yeah, I should not have seen this at the age I did. But I did not have to have, oh, how come this actor's not in it? And then have that reason explained to me. I think that uh, I love Jenna Ortega. I think she's great. However, I feel like her character is someone who is much younger than she is, or because it's like with Delia Dietz, or not, sorry, with Lydia Dietz, who is Renona Ryder in the original, she was like 15, 16. I feel
right.
like they were trying to do the same thing with Astrid, who is Jenna Ortega, but I don't know. I couldn't tell if she was supposed to be in high school or college. She definitely acts like it. She acts like she was in high school, so that was a little off to me. But I mean, it's here's the thing: you watch Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. It is about the core three. It's Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, and Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, honestly, there's no character that he can play that someone's going to do a better job or even come close to it. He will always be my Batman. I know that is a very controversial thing to say, but the reason being is that I think he's an amazing Batman and Bruce Wayne, which is that synergy that you need. With this, seeing him as Beetlejuice
Oh,
after 35 years, I mean, no one is going to do anything better than him. It's like you don't need a third one. You don't need a Beetlejuice. Yeah, no one can top Michael Keaton. I mean, he does Beetlejuice that is just it's just an iconic character. Everyone gets together. They go to Wind River for this the patriarch's uh, funeral. Uh, Lydia Dietz is now known for seeing ghosts. It's not just the Maitlands, who are played by Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. Now she can see ghosts, and she has a syndicated talk show, like TV show with a live audience. For some reason, she has not seen Beetlejuice in 35 years, and now he starts popping up. And then Astrid, who is Lydia's daughter, everyone knows, Lydia Dietz. So Astrid's getting a little bit of bullying and has that whole thing that she hates her family, all this, which is very teenager like. And also similar to what Lydia was like with Delia Dietz, who Delia Dietz, played by Catherine O'Hara, still doing the amazing art, still being as amazing as she always ever will be. There are new people in the mix, though. There's Justin Theroux, who plays Rory. Uh, Lydia's boyfriend and manager. There's Monica Bellucci, which you find out is a character who's close to Beetlejuice himself, who's coming back, and I think she was a fun addition. But my favorite, and I'm not doing any spoilers because these are people that are all on the movie poster. Willem Dafoe, who is a person in the afterlife, and his character's name is Wolf Jackson. He is incredible. One of the things about him, there are practical effects that are used in his makeup. And something that I loved about this film is that in the original, anytime I go to a con or festival, some sort of event that always, rejoices Beetlejuice, you see people dressed up. I've got the glasses, I've got gloves, I've got this little thing like this, Beetlejuice. With this one, I can see that going full throttle again. There are going to be people I can see at conventions or different events dressed up as these new characters, dressed up as the old characters, and I love that. I love the addition of the music. There was one kind of dream sequence that I thought was a little long. At the same time, they kind of did a wink and acknowledged that. I think they did an amazing little acknowledgement sort of to Peter Jackson. You'll see that in the film. And a huge nod to Brian De Palma. If you don't know, at the end, you need to look it up, or you can ask us what it is, because I caught that real quick. I liked this film. I think there is a tag on different uh like things in theaters where they've got Beetlejuice and this huge guy in a yellow suit with a shrunken head. His name is
oh,
Bob. By the way, Bob, Brad, Joe, all those characters, I love them. They're some of my favorites. But on those things where you can sit down next to Beetlejuice, it says worth the wait. Honestly, yes. I think this film did a great job at acknowledging the nostalgia without oversaturating it and like throwing it in people's faces. Like there's been so many others have done this year. One that we recently did that it's like, come on, stop. I think it's definitely worth the wait. I was not surprised at any of the big reveals that were supposed to be going on with certain characters that are like side stories. It's like, yeah, figure that. But at the same time, look, you know what? You guys all have your journeys as characters in the film, so you need to figure that out yourself as an audience member. That was something that it was not a big surprise to me, but I did want to see how it would turn out. Monica Bellucci's character, I cannot wait to see people cosplay her because she is amazing. And yeah, production design. Again, I said the practical effects. Uh, there's no big CGI that's even advanced since the 1988 version. That's fine. I mean, it doesn't need to, if you could save more money on doing different things, do that. And I say go see it. I mean, there's some characters who are dead that are so incredible in the film when you see them in the afterlife. I mean, honestly, that is one of the reasons why I say go see this film. Uh, yeah, I mean, again, I wish there were a little less showing the patriarch. That's the reason why they had to get together, but at least you didn't have the actual person. I think that's going to be some awkward conversations with some people, but I say go see it and see it in IMAX. I think that'll be a fun time and enjoy the music because, get your toe tapping, maybe get the soundtrack and that Danny Elfman score. Mwah.
I think showing us a little bit of a police presence in the afterlife is very fun with William Dafoe. I don't know of a lot of what do you call it, Tim Burton movies that he's been in that I can think of off the top of my head. Danny DeVito playing the janitor that we saw in the original movie. I don't know if they're the same character. They could just he just be another janitor. That was cute. This all came from Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Tim Burton reuniting for Dumbo, which I haven't seen, but obviously they were in Batman Returns, making that movie, and the conversation came up about Beetlejuice. That's how this all got started. Um, More obviously Michael Keaton, Tim Burton. A lot of Michael Keaton Beetlejuice in this movie compared to the other one. The other one, the clock in time is 17 minutes of Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. That includes hands on screen where you don't see him. Um, when he's reading the newspaper, goes, "Oh, let's check the help wanted ads. Oh, the Maitlands, they look like a stupid couple." Um, that was fine. I'm totally fine with more Beetlejuice in this film. More Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice was definitely needed. Jenna Ortega's plotline with another a boy character was just it felt like the Wednesday plotline where they needed Wednesday to have a boyfriend. And that is something in season 2 coming up. They have announced that is not happening, so that's good. But that didn't need to be a thing at all. That just kinds of ends, and then you're like, okay, Monica Bellucci, I was so excited for her in this movie. Last time I saw her was in I think she was in Die Another No. What was the last James Bond movie called?
I don't
The last James Bond movie. That was the last time she was in a film that I saw. Um, Her character disappears for 40 minutes in this movie. And I'm like, where is Monica Bellucci? Why did we even do this character? She completely disappeared. Like they forgot to put her in more scenes to build up the baddest of her character, her being a badass. But 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes, she disappears in this film. Like, wow, that really bugged me because I was like the trailers were all like, Monica Bellucci is Beetlejuice's wife, and they made a big deal about that. And they give us the backstory of Beetlejuice finally too, which is kind of interesting. Wasn't expecting that. That was fine. I'm okay with that part because it's been 30 years. It's not like this has been cranking out sequel after sequel after sequel, but just wish they had done more with her. Dad in the movie, people are going to go look him up online. The claymation explanation about how he dies, not needed at all. um Justin Thoreau, I don't know him from a lot of stuff. Kind of saw that coming a mile away about like him and Lydia just didn't have the chemistry to get married, but that's fine because you definitely can feel that the entire movie. The fact that Lydia became this like, goth host medium, very interesting turn for her. I kind of thought she would get into photography and would have been a photographer because that was her whole shtick in the original movie, was taking pictures of everything. So I was kind of really looking forward to that. The relationship between her and her daughter and Catherine O'Hare is exactly what I expected to be. And I've been watching Schitt's Creek for 2 seasons with my. I've been watching Schitt's Creek for 2 seasons, and I've really enjoyed her on that. So it's been like a breath of fresh air to see her return to the role I think most people remember her for, other than Kevin's mother in the Home Alone films. Um, I'm gonna buy this on Blu-ray because I have the other one. There is a long in development hell called for the recently deceased documentary about Beetlejuice. Did you ever kickstart that?
No,
Yeah. It was 4 years ago, and I don't think it's out yet because Beetlejuice doesn't have any bonus features.
that's a bummer. I would say this probably would because I could see some fun behind the scenes things
Right.
with this one.
Can't hold it up right now because my camera decided to clock out on me, but you can go to Walmart and Target and buy Beetlejuice the complete series. Like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire earlier this year, I think they took a lot of cues from the cartoon series for this. Hence why we got so much of the comedic afterlife. We got dark humor in the first one about the afterlife. This one was straight up comedy. There was, the subtle dark humor jokes here and there, but this was a brightly lit afterlife. And again, the last time, all we got was that waiting room in the hallway, really. That's it. We get a lot of the underworld in this. And a lot of that comes from the Beetlejuice cartoon series. Because every episode, Lydia and Beetlejuice, who are best of friends, go to the afterlife to, comedy hijinks ensue. And once in a while, they're on Earth. Also in that, Lydia's stepmother is her actual biological mother. I would love it if they did a sequel follow up to the Beetlejuice cartoon series if this is successful. Just showing like Lydia now as an adult with her daughter and Beetlejuice kind of hanging out and do things. Just do the same kind of tone from the cartoon, make it its own continuity. I would be totally okay with that. I think Beetlejuice, by the way, is also for anyone who has cable, is on Me TV, Me Toons, which is the new cartoon kind of network showing hundreds and hundreds of classic cartoons, and they have a block of cartoons based on movie properties such as Real Ghostbusters, Godzilla. Is that a purse?
Yes, this little wristlet. And then my see this sand snakes on my glasses.
Oh yes, yes. The sandworms coming back was cool. A lot more of them in this. I'm always curious, like, why does Beetlejuice, his main costume, why does it look like the sandworms? What's the connection there?
Maybe
What's
because if you're dressed as your enemy, then your enemy won't think that you're their enemy.
maybe? I also thought Beetlejuice was a prisoner at one point because Stripes. That was always a theory too. I mean, he was an investigator. He was a social worker for the recently deceased when he got fired in the original movie. And in this film, they reveal what his real occupation is. You can watch the movie. We're not going to go into it, but it's connected to his wife, Monica Bellucci. Which I agree. We're gonna be seeing a lot of Monica Bellucci's costume in this movie, as well as Lydia's new look. She's got kind of like an Elvira look to her when she's hosting the show. Um, Definitely. The red wedding dress does come back as well, but there's definitely a couple new cosplays I can see happening from this.
Oh, a
Action
lot of
figures.
cosplays, especially in the waiting room. I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
the Bob
And
costume. Yeah, I totally see the Bob costume happening. Totally.
oh, I
Um,
actually the screening that I went to, they had two Bobs, and I took pictures with them.
was that the Cinemarks that was shown on online of them helping customers?
No, I went to an AMC press promo screening.
Okay. Yeah, there's a video online of Bob helping customers get their popcorn, walking them to their theater, taking people's tickets. Obviously, nothing that the actor in the costume is going to get himself killed doing, but just shoveling popcorn all over the floor into a bag and then handing half a bag of popcorn to somebody. It's kind of funny. Him taking tickets with the ticket counter girl, him walking someone by hand to their theater. They're probably walking him because he can't see in it. It's actually very cute and adorable to see the actor in the Bob costume at the Cinemark. I would love to know what theater that was. They must have had a blast with that. That had to have been a studio costume sent over to for someone to dress up as Bob. I don't know who was playing all the different shrunken head guys in this film. I'm sure they'll all get their little interview and post up sometime soon. It would be funny if it was somebody, someone else from a Tim Burton movie who wanted to like make it a cameo but not be a cameo themselves, which is totally fine.
Well, and Brad Pitt is a executive producer, and then I noticed that one of the characters that's in the Bob sort of vein of characters, his name was Brad. So I was thinking like, oh, I wonder if he's possibly like in that costume, sort of like how he did a little secret wink, very brief cameo in Deadpool 2.
There are 6 people credited on this film for story and screenplay. There are 6, as far as I could count, going back to maybe before the pandemic, the last time I heard about a Beetlejuice sequel happening. There were 6 different screenplays, including Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, which is an actual screenplay, FYI. And I'm wondering if somebody at Warner Brothers will commission, like, maybe, I think it would be really great, and it's a little late now because I haven't seen anything in previews, but coming up maybe soon, Warner Brothers could commission, if this movie does well, DC Comics to make Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian into a comic book of some kind. Maybe turn, I would also love, and this is something Dark Horse did, but when they had the Alien license before it went to Marvel, was they put out comic books for William Gibson's Alien 3 and the original script for Alien, and they were going to do the giant grasshopper praying mantis predator script that, from the Predator movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme was going to play. They were going to do that as a comic book as well, and I would love it if they actually took the original Beetlejuice script, which was a straight up horror story. It was not a comedy in any way. Beetlejuice was like a winged demon, and it was a like really adult at times in the original script. If they would turn that into a comic book, letting people know that this is the original script, I think that would be a great job. Go see the new
I'm
Beetlejuice if people want. What?
Oh, I'm predicting that this is going to do well at the box office this weekend. There are some other releases, but I don't think they have the star stature that this one does. And I would say this may do well in the weekend after that too. I know a few that are coming out the next weekend, but I think Beetlejuice is going to top the box office for this weekend. I mean, maybe Deadpool and Wolverine will beat it out because, man, that is an unstoppable film right now. But yeah, I think Beetlejuice is going to do well, and Warner Brothers has another hit on its hands.
Yeah, we'll see if it can knock Deadpool off. It's probably Deadpool has withered out for the now to its 7th week. It's completely possible, and there's nothing coming that could really defeat Beetlejuice in the next few weeks. So they put it out at a good time. October would have been better, but October's already pretty cramped with Joker and Venom and whatever horror movies are being slapped into October. But I think this will have some longevity into the holiday season as long as Warner Brothers doesn't start sticking it up on streaming in like 2 seconds. Leave it at the box office for Halloween, Warner Brothers. You'll find it's going to do well for you. Release the original movie for drive-ins that are still open until the end of October as well. You can put Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice 2 back to back with each other. A lot of people are requesting drive-ins do that. Mine included down here in Massachusetts. People are like, "Oh, Beetlejuice is back to back with Deadpool, or Beetlejuice is back to back with God." One drive-in's doing Beetlejuice back to back with Blake Lively's movie. It's like, what?
Like
That's a bad
Beetlejuice
combination.
and Blake Lively's really?
Yeah, at the drive-in. I mean, her movie is a box office like success. It's a huge freaking hit. But come on, really, Beetlejuice in that movie? You're stretching the romance a little bit between the connection between films, and I understand drive-ins can be 2 totally different movies. Splash, the first drive-in I went to was Splash back to back with The Jungle Book, but that was the '80s, so
Yeah,
half
that
naked people running around in a cartoon and half naked people running around in a mermaid movie. Maybe that was the connection. I don't know. But I digress. Go see Beetlejuice. Make your own decision about it. Go watch the cartoon before you go see this movie. Maybe that will help you as well. Like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'll be back. We have an Alien review that's getting posted up soon. Also, we're going to be covering Salem's Lot, Salem's Lot, and Salem's Lot, the Salem's Lot trilogy, not counting Return to Salem's Lot. But yes, the original 2 miniseries, and then the upcoming James Wan retro style movie coming to HBO Max mid-October. We will be covering the other 2 in September to lead up to it. Just because I've always wanted to cover Salem's Lot, so we'll talk about the differences between the 2, and you'll hear those reviews coming up soon in time for the new one. Thank you, everyone. Like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Go to Katie's Facebook page, her Instagram, and her YouTube as well, and check out the rest of our reviews. Bye.